besties, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hi, welcome, I'm Sally, and you're watching Sally Reputation. Welcome back, Reader Cakes, welcome back to my channel, Reader Cakes. I usually say bestie or like book bestie, but I want to say a new name every time, and I want to see what happens. Will it get more unhinged? I don't know. Anyways, you already know what's going on. It is a monthly reading wrap-up. We just finished May. I didn't even know what month we just finished. I got so confused. Things are going by so fast. Like, how is it half of a year? How are we here? How is 2023 like halfway through? But I do know the books that I read. Surprisingly, I read 10 books this month, and if you watch my last reading wrap up, like in April, I read 3 books. It was so bad. Like, I thought that was like the end of my reading career. Like, I genuinely thought like it was over for me. Like, I was about to hit like a 3-year reading slump. That's how bad it felt. But I manifested, and I said in my May TBR that I don't know how, but I'm going to read a lot this month, and I did. I read 10 books. 4 physical books with me, and then I read a lot on audiobook and then some on ebook, but I think let's do physical first because that's always the most fun. I actually listened to each and every one of these on audiobook, so it was a high audiobook like month for me. So I'm going to close my eyes and shuffle, and then I think let's just go about it that way. Yeah. In no particular order, the first book I pulled is Crazy Stupid Bromance, and this is the 3rd book in the Bromance series, which I absolutely love. I mean, men in a romance book club, like what more could you really ask for? Personally, I think that's such a creative plotline, and I feel like you could write so many books within like that plotline and have like a forever series. I love it, but this book specifically was so good. It was so cute. It's a friends to lover, best friends to lover actually. And the male main character was like in love with her the moment he saw her. But other than that, there's a lot of family dynamics and like family secrets and drama and things that are getting revealed. So I feel like there's like a really interesting plot line in addition to the romance. So I ended up giving this a 5-star. I mean, it was entertaining and it was good. And that's all I could really ask for in a book. Next up, I have This Time It's Real, and this is a YA romance, and it's so stinking cute. So I did a video where I read for 24 hours straight, and this was the book I listened to in that video, and I couldn't get enough of it. It's so cute. It really got me through that 24 hours, and I'm so glad I kicked off that video with this. It's fake dating, celebrity trope, it's everything. He's a famous actor who needs help writing his college essay. She's a writer, and one of her pieces suddenly got really popular, and she wants to kind of climb on this popularity. So she thought fake dating a celebrity would really help her zoom. And that's how they started fake dating. So she can help him and he can help her. I ended up giving this a 4-star because it's actually so slow burn. It was heart hurting. Did I make that up? I don't know. Anyways, it was a little painful how slow burn this was, but it was like worth it in the end. I just like am not used to slow burn, but it is really good, and I recommend this. Next up, we have Take a Hint, Danny Brown. Once again, this was a hit. This was like a good reading month. Everything was a hit. This was a great book. It was very smutty. I did not expect that. I listened to this on audiobook, and sometimes I went out in public and I had like my AirPods in, and sometimes I was like, whoa, we are in public. What is going on? But it was good. I loved it. I love like a good, mature couple. Characters who act their age and characters who communicate and characters who are lovable. I love this book. Once again, fake dating. I love fake dating. I think it's my 2nd favorite trope, right under enemies to lover. It's also friends to lover, and I guess you can say workplace romance because she's a PhD student that also teaches, and then he's a security guard at the campus. I loved it. 5 stars. There's not really a flaw in this book. Loved it. In the next book, I actually filmed a reading vlog because I was one in like the 100 people who has never ever read this book before. But now that I read it, I am one in the billion people who has read this book. And it is Beach Read. I finally read Beach Read by Emily Henry, and I believe the hype is worth it. It was good. It's one of those books where I read it and I was like, I see what people mean. Like, there wasn't really a flaw about it. It was just like everything that I would want in a book. I love January. I love the relationship of Gus and January. I love the complexity of each character. I love that there's more plotline than just romance. Everything was perfect. However, I will say everyone loves this book. Everyone raves about it. It is so much hype that I was expecting a lot more from it because my expectations were like way above me. It didn't give me like those butterfly like amazing, but it was good, and you can't be wrong with good. So that's all the physical book I have on hand. Now I'm gonna go completely out of order and just kind of go randomly. Next, I read my Kindle and I read 2 books by Emily Raff, and I read That One Night, and then I read Pucking Ever After. And this is a little interesting because the book in the middle, the main book, is called Pucking Around. So Pucking Around is a Why Choose Hockey romance, and it's like 600 pages, but it is the main book in like Emily's Raff hockey universe. However, I only read the prequel novella, which is That One Night, and that is about like the female main character and one of the male main character. And then I read like the sequel novella, which is like a bunch of short stories with all 3 male main character and then the female main character. So I did not read the book in the middle. I don't know why, no questions please, but I did read 20% of it, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna skip straight to the sequel. I don't really know what happened. I guess I'm just a really happily ever after girl, so I was like, cut the conflict, let's get to the happy part. But those books were fun, it was entertaining. It's definitely like turn off your brain, don't take it too seriously. It's super smutty and it's entertaining, and once again, I can't really ask more for a book. I ended up giving it 3 stars because it's a novella. There really isn't like a strong plot line. I'm sure if I read like the main book, I would rate it higher, but these are just like 2 novellas to me without any kind of like plot, no connection to the characters whatsoever. So that's why I'm only giving it 3 stars. Next up, I listened to the cheat sheet on audiobook, and I'm going to be honest, I at first had a little bit of trouble getting into this because I thought it was kind of cringy. But if you don't think about that too much, if you kind of like bounce your head over like the cringiness, it gets better. It ends up being really cute, and that's how I felt about it. Like, don't take it too seriously. It's a rom-com. It's cute, it's fun, it's entertaining. It's about 2 athletes, a ballerina meets a football player. It's a friends to lover. Like, they both are so in love with each other, but the thing is, they don't know that about each other. At the same time, they're both such like golden retriever energy, like cinnamon roll. Like, they're just so sweet. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, they're just like 2 little angels, basically. That's how I feel about them. Like, they're just 2 cuties. I loved it. It's just like 2 best friends falling in love. I don't know what is up with me and reading like novellas that are like sequels and not reading the main book. I don't know why I do it. And then I spoil the main book, and then suddenly I don't want to read the main book. But Birthday Wishes is the sequel to A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime. This is about Crew and Ren and like their family. So they end up having a daughter, and this is like their happily ever after. This is a novella, like short story. It's supposed to be super cute of Ren's birthday and Christmas, and basically them kind of navigating like having a newborn and still having like a romantic life. So it was 60 pages and I was like, fun, cute, I'll read it. And then I realized there's like a whole big like 600-page book about them. I did not realize this, but they're like academic rivals to lover and enemies to lover kind of situation, and it was like them from college into like adulthood, so they have a whole backstory. I just happened to stumble upon them in adulthood when they're married with a kid, and I read it, and here we are. But I read it. It was cute. It was 3 stars. Once again, no connections to the characters. It wasn't really a plot. It was like a very slim plot, kind of like smutty-ish. There was a part where she kind of was like jealous of her daughter because her daughter like took some of like her husband's attention, and that kind of like threw me off because I'm like, why are you jealous of your daughter? But overall, once again, I don't really have anything to do with this book because I did not read the main book, and so I did not feel anything. Next up, I listened to Barbarian's Mate. This is like the 4th or 5th book in the Ice Planet Barbarian series. I seriously cannot keep track of the series because there is like 150 books in the series. There's literally too many. I love this series and I listen to it whenever I'm bored, and so this is the next book that I was supposed to be reading. This book was fun, it was entertaining. So I'm actually at a point in the series where I feel like everything's getting repetitive. Like I can expect what's coming in the next book without reading like the synopsis or like knowing anything about it. I can expect an alpha male main character, protectiveness, smut, and just like longing, which is like that resonance that they want, the alien and human. Since book 1, it's all been the same, but just like different character names and like little things being changed, but it's like the same book in different fonts. That's what I feel right now, but it's not like I don't enjoy it. Like I still love it. Like it's entertaining, it's fun, but I feel like I can't read it back to back because it would just feel like I'm reading the same book. That's actually what I tried to do. I tried to listen to like the next book after Barbarian's Mate, and I literally could not do it. I was just like, this is literally the same thing. So I took a pause in it. So I'll probably like listen and jump back into it like in a couple months when I like forget what happens in this whole entire series. Short-term memories. So I'll see you then. Anyways, let's talk about the last book I read. Always Only You by Chloe Lise. And this is the second book in the Bergman Brothers series. And it was so good. Everything about it was absolutely amazing. The representation of being on the spectrum was absolutely so good to read. It was refreshing, it was done really well, and I loved it. And some of the other tropes are like forced proximity. She has to live with him for a little bit because of some situations. Workplace romance, he's a hockey player and she's like the social media manager slash agent. It's always been neutral because he's loved her since forever, but she's never known that, and he literally has been waiting for her since the moment he saw her. They are such an adorable couple. I love them so much, and this book was literally perfect. 10 out of 10. I'm so glad I wrapped up my month with this book. This book was like amazing. Yay! 10 books read, bestie cakes. That is a lot. I can't believe I read that many. Like that's shocking. Like last book, I was in like rock bottom. I love reading. But that is my reading wrap up for May. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy. Comment down below what videos you want to see from me. Any suggestions would be so helpful. Thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you on the flip side. Peace. I almost forgot to say flip side, and I didn't want to refilm that. So see you on the flip side.